Welcome back. It's Twin Cities Live at 4. Happy to have you guys here on a Friday. All right, there's a new movie out. It's on Apple TV, and it blew our critic Paul McGuire Grimes away. Spoiler alert. He gave it 5 out of 5 ticket stubs, okay? We'll say it again, but now you know. So this movie is about a deaf family with a daughter who can hear, and one of the deaf stars grew up in Duluth. Here's Paul's conversation about CODA.
You're from Duluth, Minnesota, and attended the Minnesota State Academy for the Deaf. Is that where you fell in love with the arts?
Right before that, yes, right before that. It started when I was about 9. So I was in Duluth, and at that time, I loved acting as a child. It wasn't until high school when I really started to think about, maybe I wouldn't mind doing this for like a career, maybe like an actual job. So it was about high school age when I really started focusing on it professionally.
You're the girl with the deaf family?
Yeah.
I just want to tell you right now.
And you sing. Interesting.
Now, did I read that you did not know American Sign Language going into this?
It was a challenge. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything about ASL. I didn't know anything about deaf culture. It was always something that fascinated me, and I think when I read the script, I just immediately wanted to learn.
Now, I read that there was a director of ASL on set, and that role is different than an interpreter. Can you explain the difference and are they both utilized at the same time?
That's a very good question. The interpreter is there to facilitate communication with the director, the crew, and the hearing actors. But we had 2 people that were ASL masters who are deaf, and those were deaf eyes on what we were trying to capture.
What advice do you have for deaf kids out there who want to be in the arts and to be in musicals and to know that it's still possible?
I would say it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you want to do, just do it. Just go for it. Get out of your comfort zone. Any play, anything near your home. Maybe there's something public, like local theater or whatever. Or maybe there's no deaf characters in something, but who cares? Go out and audition for it anyway. You never know.
That's some really good advice there. Paul joins me now to talk more about CODA. Now listen, this is a movie, Paul. I'll be honest, I've not heard of this movie before, and so in case others haven't as well, tell us everything that you love, because we already know that you loved it.
I loved it. So CODA stands for Child of Deaf Adults. So Ruby is this high school girl who's feeling torn between staying at home and being there for her family who really needs her, or moving off and following her own dreams and passions, because she's the sole ASL interpreter for her whole family. So her family really relies on her. So when you are feeling that pressure, not only doing what is best for you, but also for your mom, your dad, your brother, this movie is just so eye-opening on what deaf community goes through, deaf culture, and how, what a deaf mom, and how can she maybe feel if she could connect to her hearing daughter and vice versa. The movie just kind of blew my mind. It's heartwarming, it's funny at the same time. You think, oh, is this gonna be really heavy? But no, there's lots of humor in it too, against all of the hardships that they face and that you really look and know about.
I wonder if anyone might be feeling, will I have a disconnect? Because just like if you watch a movie that's a foreign film, and it's all subtitles, and then you're like, am I going to be reading? Will I still be kind of taken along on an emotional journey? What would you say to them?
Don't worry about that. Okay. Because again, communication comes in so many forms. You can see the actors emoting and having the relationship that they all have as a family unit. There's also music in it. There's the spoken word. So as the brother is signing, you've got the sister, Ruby, who's saying everything that he is signing, and back and forth. So it is just beautiful, and I hope that people love it and feel moved by it as I do. And if you love Joni Mitchell, another little thing that's going to happen in the movie that you will just
really love.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it because I've always wanted to say it, and I already know. Paul gave it 5
out of 5 ticket stubs.
Ticket stubs.
Apple TV Plus. It's only $4.99 a month, so just subscribe to it and we'll love the movie.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Now here's another movie that I have heard a little bit about, and it's called Respect, the Aretha Franklin story. Tell us about this.
This stars Jennifer Hudson in the Aretha Franklin story, really going back to her as a child, the tortured, horrible childhood that she had to becoming the singer that we know today. And the movie's really that, like many biopics do, where they cover way too much territory.
Sure.
It's kind of divided into 3 acts. Her kind of rise to fame, her kind of fall to, fame and alcoholism, and then kind of a return to grace for her.
Now, I must tell you, the trailer that I watched this morning, I was captivated by it. But a good trailer doesn't always mean a good movie.
Right. I think that Jennifer Hudson is fantastic in it. We know that she can sing Aretha's music, but how she kind of changes the timbre of her voice, her mannerisms, to feel like she's actually Aretha versus just, Jennifer Hudson singing Aretha songs. And you have a great supporting cast. Marlon Wayans doing a very dramatic turn. Mark Maron, another funny man doing a dramatic turn. Then you have Forrest Whitaker's in it. So great cast. And then this is not a Stevie time sensitive movie.
Okay.
And by that I mean it's not 90 minutes.
Okay.
It's 2.5 hours.
Okay.
It starts to really drag in the second act. Again, the fall of her, like the fall of what she goes through.
But picks up at the end.
Picks up at the end. That could have been a movie in itself.
Ticket
like
stubs.
3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
See, just like the movie is too long, your review was too long.
Way too long.
We ran out of time.
It happens all the time.
You can visit Paul's website. It is called paulstriptothemovies.com. He's got updates on movie and streaming services. You can also listen to Paul. He is on the Colleen and Bradley Show on My Talk 107.1 every Friday. You can watch him. He's fancy. He's got a YouTube channel. It's also called Paul's Trip to the Movies. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
TCL's Movie Trip is brought to you by Muska Lighting. If you're looking for a way to beat the heat, Muska Lighting has what you need. You can check out their selection of fans and fandeliers at one of their showrooms in Roseville or Eden Prairie. Next up, where and when you'll be able to see the future of, are we still doing, do we tell more about Taco Bell right here in Minnesota? That or something else. Oh, some Friday the 13th facts coming your way next.
Thanks to Muska Lighting for sponsoring TCL's Movie Trip. Replace old and dated fixtures with a new light and change the look and feel of your home. Our mudroom fixture from Muska Lighting is a total showstopper. We get compliments from everyone who walks through the door. Talk to the experts at Muska Lighting in Roseville and Eden Prairie for help finding the perfect light for you.